We are here with intern Alicia Maule, and first I'd like you to state and spell your name, please.
My name is Alicia Maule, A-L-I-C-I-A, middle name Cepeda, C-E-P-E-D-A, last name Maule, M-A-U-L-E.
And firstly, can you just tell us a little bit about your academic background and where you're from?
Sure, I grew up in Chicago, in Hyde Park, 50th and Greenwood, right now the neighborhood of Barack Obama and the neighbor of our future President Barack. I grew up in Hyde Park. I attended, there's a JCC, a Jewish Community Center, a temple across the street, did a lot of activities there outside of school, attended the lab school, the University of Chicago Lab School, from preschool to freshman year, and then transferred to Parker High School in Lincoln Park and graduated from there. And now I'm at Brown.
And can you just tell us a little bit about why you chose to intern here and how you knew about the HistoryMakers?
Well, it's a little bit more personal for me. Juliana is a longtime friend. She went to school with my father, so she's always been around, and she's always had different projects. She had a TV show at one point that my sister was on, so I always knew she did fun things. And then the HistoryMakers I always heard about. My great-grandfather was honored at some point, and they did a program that he was involved in for the Illinois State Assembly. But you know, so it was always in my consciousness. I always said I'd want to work for her, and she always really wanted me to work for her. And I started doing it as community action requirement my senior year. Was hired summer of 2007, and this is my returning summer 2008. I also work. I'm always thinking in terms of the HistoryMakers. It's very much a part of my activities, I'd say. I'm a history major at Brown, also very interested in African American studies, Africana studies, so I'll do a double major. So I'm always thinking about ways to innovate the project, because I absolutely love it, and I think it has all the potential in the world.
And what were your responsibilities here?
Research intern is like the generic title, but it's more than that. In addition to evaluations and outlines, I did a brown bag lunch series, which was a lecture series where we invited professors from U of I. So I put that together. I helped execute that. And I also am working on a hip hop project. I'm trying to get the HistoryMakers to connect with younger generations. And so I'm really focused on getting this hip hop project going, and have made a little bit of progress yet. So hopefully we should see something come into fruition in the next few years.
And can you tell us something memorable about your experience here?
Memorable.
Something that stands out in your mind.
I guess it was more last summer. I would say watching evaluations, and one of the HistoryMakers grew up in Biloxi, Mississippi, which is where I went to do community action, I went to help out after Katrina hit in March. So I felt a big connection to her, just because I actually worked in her community that probably is demolished and completely gone. I'd say, and then I also did the research and the evaluation for the president of the Fashion Institute of Technology, and I ended up in New York and just looked over, and there was the institution. So things like that, I'd say, are pretty stand out to me. I thought we had a great thank you reception at Ariel Capital. I think we really rocked it. I thought the program was short and really outstanding. I thought it was really, really an upscale event, and I think it was a reminder of how much hard work is being put into this, and obviously by Julie's orchestration.
Okay. And what have you learned from this experience about yourself?
Well, what have I learned about myself? I'd say that Well, I've been very focused this summer. I've been given more responsibilities. I've kept my social life pretty in control and really been my summer's pretty much been the HistoryMakers and the gym. So I'm really proud that I was able to stay focused here, stay committed. I still have a couple of weeks here, and I really do want to finish out or leave with the Hip Hop Project on its way. And also, I'm also working on an evening with Ruth Simmons and trying to get the president of Brown University to do a program where we'd interview her at Brown